Hi guys, welcome to another 2-minute devotion with Dad. We're moving on in Matthew into 27, and Jesus has now been arrested and he's taken in, and they're making plans. And Judas here has had a moment of realization. So he's taken the money back, tried to give it back and undo his evil deed, and they said, no, get stuffed. Look out for your own issues. So one thing that stands out here, it's quite extraordinary actually. First of all, I have sinned, he declared, for I have betrayed an innocent man. And what was their response? What do we care? That's your problem. So obviously their total lack of concern for morality is evident here. So Judas threw the coins down, went out and hanged himself. The leading priests pick up the coins. This is one of the most ironic statements in the whole Bible, I reckon. It wouldn't be right to put this money into the temple treasury, they said, since it was payment for murder. Now, what do they care what is right to start with? Because their whole concern for these last 5 chapters has been basically killing an innocent man. And now they're concerned about what is right. I think that's just ridiculous. It's preposterous. Since it was payment for murder. Now, this murder part here, the original Greek says it is the price of blood. So I looked up that word in the original Greek, and it's basically blood of a person that's been shed by force, or forcefully shed, as if through violence. So the murder is, I guess, an interpretation of this version for that. But they've still acknowledged through their choice of language that they have purposefully and forcefully taken Jesus' blood, for which this payment was made. So they're admitting to their own intent anyway through this, and they're still concerned about not using money for the wrong purposes after they've just killed someone for the wrong purposes almost. So it's just quite extraordinary, I think. So after some discussion, they decided to buy the potter's field, and they turned it into a cemetery for foreigners. And I think this is very symbolic, to be honest, because the cemetery was outside the gate. Jesus was the lamb, and the scapegoat was taken outside the gate as well in historical ceremony. Foreigners, here it says, were Gentiles who died in Jerusalem. An asset whose owner could not be traced was used for public charity. In this instance, unclean money was used to buy an unclean place for unclean people. Now, when you think about the actual purpose for which Jesus died, he became unclean for us. He became our sin and was punished for us. So I think this is a very it just literally in the physical represents what Jesus did spiritually for us, and they don't even know that they did it. And of course it goes on to say this is fulfilled the prophecy of Jeremiah that says he took 30 pieces of silver, the price at which he was valued by the people of Israel, and purchased the potter's field as the Lord directed. So a little asterisk takes us down to Zechariah 11:12-13, and also Jeremiah 32:6-9. So 11:12-13 in Zechariah. Zechariah. If you like me, or if you like, give me my wages, whatever I'm worth, but only if you want to. They counted out for my wages 30 pieces of silver. Throw it to the potter, this magnificent sum at which they valued me. So they took the coins and threw them to the potter in the temple of the Lord. And down here it says 30 pieces of silver was the price of a slave. And in the allegory, the silver was severance pay for the shepherd. And somewhere here it says, this magnificent sum. Where did I read that? Here. Nearly 2 years' wages for the average labourer. So even though it's not a massive price in real terms, it was quite extraordinary for a slave to be paid that much. And let's go back to the Jeremiah reference quickly. I forgot to prepare this one. Oh, here it is. Jeremiah 32, 6-9. Let's see what this one says. At the time the Lord sent me a message. He said, your cousin Hanamel, son of Shalom, will say to you, buy my field at Anathoth. By law you have the right to buy it before it is offered to anyone for sale. Then, just as the Lord said he would, my cousin Hanamel came and visited me in prison. He said, please buy my field at Anathoth in the land of Benjamin. By law you have the right to buy it before it is offered to anyone else. So it's a bit vague there, but it means it's a similar reference that the Bible has given. But either way, the implications are clear that Jesus being sold off for this 30 silver pieces is, I think, very symbolic, and it represents not necessarily the number, even though we are slaves to sin. It represents him being totally outcast by the priests. It shows their absolute contempt for him in real terms, and it shows literally what happened to him. He was taken outside and just totally despised in the field of blood. The cemetery, it sort of ties in, I think, with what actually happened. So just a bit of an interesting one there. I don't know if I'm reading between the lines too much, but by slowing down once again and just reading things slowly and just absorbing the information, you get to see a lot of symbolic stuff, a lot of parallels, a lot of things that just help. It makes more sense to me as a person. Anyway, bless you guys. Have a great day, and I'll catch you the next one. Bye.